Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to our event on Beyond Fear, Longing to Live Fully, Beyond Fear, Shame, and the Ways We Hold Ourselves Back. My name is Jennifer McKeever. I'm a registered psychotherapist here in Canada and one of the leaders of the Path of Love in different places around the world. And we are so excited for the space that we're going to be having, sharing together today, and all that we're going to be exploring. Gita, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. Very good to be here with you all. Thank you for coming. My name is Gita Wagner, and I am one of the Path of Love leaders in North America and in Germany.
And hello, everyone. My name is Sambhavo. I'm so excited to meet all of you tonight. And we are going to have a journey. I really long for a journey where we can do some experience. I'm one of the Path of Love leaders in Europe, in India. I used to be in India for a long time. Now I'm a father, so I'm a little bit restrained in traveling. But yeah, and here we have our amazing technical guy that is Prem Raj. Is also our DJ, uh, probably today, and also he is in the Paddle Love. So Prem Raj, where are you? Can
Hi,
you show
everyone.
yourself up?
Nice to meet you all. If you need anything, you can always just message me and I'll be here.
Thank you.
Okay, then just as a start into this little journey that we'll embark upon now, maybe take a moment to look around this Zoom room just for a little moment. Maybe just orient yourself to who you're spending these next 90 minutes with. Hello, everybody. And then take a breath and orient yourself to the room that you're sitting in. Maybe just look around over your shoulder and take a breath and find something that you like looking at, like a plant or out the window or a piece of art. And just let your eyes rest there and relax with that. Knowing that you're safe in this space, your space. And then allow your eyes to close just for a moment, if that is available to you. If not, maybe just cast your eyes down so that your attention can go inside of your own body. And notice your feet on the ground and your butt on the surface that you're sitting on, probably. And just be very openly and curiously present to whatever you may be finding there inside of you right now. And that may be a tension someplace or a warmth somewhere else. And if there is some voice or some part of you that wants to recoil from what you're perceiving, notice that also. Just making space for however you're finding yourself right now in this moment. All the sensations that may be there. And maybe you can also contact that place in your body or in your heart where that longing to live fully lives. Because that may be what has pulled you here this morning or this evening, depending on where you are. And just honoring that curiosity, that longing. in yourself. And then you can take another deep breath and in your own time, open your eyes again, orienting to the space and to this Zoom room with all these lovely people present.
Thank you, Gita. Thank you for that beautiful meditation. And so, as we're getting started with today, we're going to be looking at fear and shame, two really powerful forces, and they're energies that we work a lot with in Path of Love. I'm curious as we get started, who here is new to Path of Love? And who here has done it already? If you want to go ahead and write into the chat, if you're new, a big welcome to you. If you have already participated in Path of Love, welcome back to the Path of Love space. Yes, go ahead and take a moment and write into the chat and let's see. Oh, wow, a lot of freshy. I love that. New, 2013. Wow. New from New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand. I think it's really early in the morning for you. Okay. Oh, you just did it this year. This is so great. New, look at all these new folks. Oh, a huge welcome. New to the Path of Love, just did in Tuscany, Portugal, Germany, Lesbos. Wonderful. Montreal, welcome. Okay, well, you can see here we have friends from all over the world, and that's one of the things that I particularly love about this work, how it can bring us together across so many places, so many cultures, and really so many different life experiences. And despite all of these differences of where we live, where we come from, what's happened in our life, two of the things most everybody has in common is that in some way, fear and shame have deeply impacted us in our lives. And they are forces that were often very strong in our childhood, that are related very much to what we experienced, what we survived, what we lived through, and they're voices that we carry with us into adulthood. And they're important, they're important energies for us to work with if we want to move beyond some of the restrictions that are there, if we want to move beyond some of these layers of defenses and patterns. So I want to first start talking a bit about what are the wounds here that we're actually looking at. And let's start with fear. I think the first thing I want to say is that fear is not a problem or a flaw. We often judge ourselves if we're afraid to do something. We feel less than, we feel very self critical. Fear is not a problem. It's actually a memory of not being safe. We carry fear inside of us because at some point in our lives, we experienced or we learned that the world wasn't safe or that people around us weren't safe. And that's a lesson we never forgot. And it is our body, it's our nervous system's job to keep us safe and to pay attention to everything that is around us, to the mood in the room, to the tone of the voices of people around us, to whether someone or some place that we are feels safe or not. And if we grow up in a place where it's very unpredictable, there's a lot of emotional ups and downs, people didn't really feel like they were there for us. Maybe there was a lot of pressure in the environment, in our home environment. Our system learned it doesn't just sit around and wait for therapy. It learns to stay fearful, to stay afraid as a way to protect us. And then the problem comes because our system doesn't just automatically update itself. So even when the danger or the things that made us afraid as children or taught us to be afraid as children, even if those things go away, the pattern of fear as a way to protect ourselves stays. And that's important so we can start to develop some compassion and understanding of why these patterns that for many of us drive us nuts, that we wish were no longer in our lives, that we run from, we hide from, we avoid from in different ways. If we can actually start to turn toward them with compassion and understanding, that is a big key to helping something actually transform and change inside of us. Gita, Sambhavo, anything you'd like to add about fear before I move on to shame? Anything that you would like to say into that? Nope.
Well, I just want to add that you say correctly. It's not. It's also the work. We are not here to fix fear,
Mhm.
but we are here to embrace into certain awareness, so and to make it like a companion, a companion friends in that sense. And we will see in the unfolding of this evening how we will do that. But yeah, basically you
Mhm.
frame well the fear. There is nothing wrong with fear. Is a strategy that protect us in the time where we
E-
were very vulnerable and still protect us.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And shame works in many of the same ways. Shame is not the same thing as low self-esteem. It's not just the negative self-talk, the inner critic voice or the superego voice that you may know of. Shame is a core wound so many of us carry, and it starts early in life. When we're punished and told that we're too loud, or we're made fun of, or criticized for being too quiet. I remember in my childhood, I was constantly being made fun of in my family because I talked a lot. I'd like to talk, and it was something that I was so teased about. And for a long time, I had shame around speaking. Many of you probably maybe have experienced something similar to that. We feel shame then because we're so criticized by something. For many of us, we may have been shamed or judged for being too emotional, for being too sensitive. We got the message that somehow I'm too much, or the message that I'm not enough. It's the pain that we felt when, maybe our sadness was rejected by our family, or we were punished and sent to our room to be alone with something. I think that's one of the biggest sources of shame, when we're sent to our room or we're put in a corner. So many messages that we received that we're not welcomed, that we don't belong here. So shame is what happened when us as children, we decide that, the problem is somehow me. It's not that I did something wrong. It's that I am wrong. And shame is that incredibly painful feeling that because I am wrong, I don't belong. And it wounds our hearts as children. Shame collapses our aliveness. It cuts our expression. It shuts down our desire, our wanting. So fear and shame, they're almost always born in relationship. And that means they can only fully heal in relationship, not through just insight or understanding, and not through willpower. And as I think in the end, I'm just going to say is that fear teaches us how to stay safe, and shame teaches us how to be acceptable, how to fit in, which were really important as children, but incredibly limiting as adults who want to live full lives. And there's so many different ways that we adapt to that. And Gita, I'm going to turn over to you because I think you're going to
But
speak
I just
now
want
more
to want
about
to
how
say
we
something.
adapt.
I want to say
Hmm.
something that you touch it, but I like this definition of shame. They say there is something in me that is no worth of love or belonging. I say it again
Hmm.
because it's really core. There is something in me that is no worth of love and belonging, and that with the fear create the very first defense mechanism, the very first protection. And Gita in a moment is going to talk about it. And that's the kind of core. It's kind of, and over this we build up mask, we build up protection, we build up safety, but in reality we build up disconnection. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Exactly. And what we're going to talk here a little bit about it, and then I want to just name, I didn't do this at the beginning and I wanted to, is that you're going to have a chance then to go into breakout rooms together and explore these powerful energies. It's important to do that. It's not just enough to listen or read books or understand. We need to explore this, because when fear is met, it can actually become a guide to something much deeper inside of us. And when shame is met in a safe environment, in a compassionate environment, it actually can loosen and open up our hearts. So today is a day not just for understanding, but today is a day to begin the work with these energies. So with that, let's turn it over to Gita so you can begin.
And I just want to add, Jennifer, shame has a lot of energy as well, fear.
Mhm.
So when they're when
Mhm.
are met, when they become unfold, it release tremendous energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah, I want to, before I go a little bit into the strategies that we develop to handle shame and fear or to survive in life and in relationships, even though we carry those. And I want to highlight something that Jen just said a moment ago, and that is that we cannot heal or learn how to use shame and fear in a creative way that serves us in our relationships and in our lives just by insight or by cognizing what they are, because they deeply affect our physiology because they're tied into the nervous system, obviously. And also they then reflect in patterns in how we move through life, how we hold our bodies or not. And they are relational wounds, so they also heal in relational fields. And we work in Path of Love. We're very focused on these two pillars. This is a Path Retreats event, and Path of Love is our big retreat. And there we work with through the body, because these things heal when we learn to embody our real aliveness and the emotions that are underneath fear and shame. And also when we share with others, which is why we'll do the triads here, you'll share with others, and that's a healing in itself to be witnessed. And one way of looking at this would be also related to what Sambhavo just said, that shame is this belief that we are not worthy of belonging. Shame has the function to inhibit our deeper feelings. Yeah, like if I was shamed as a child for being exuberantly, overflowingly alive or wild or shy or something, then the feelings that are underneath my expression, the aliveness or the sensitivity, they will be then held down by the shame, because the shame is there to tell me, no, don't do that. If you are too much or too little, you don't belong. Your parents don't like that. Your siblings feel threatened. Your teachers scold you, whatever, right? And so we all develop then out of this fearful attempt to not be too much or too little or to be unsafe, which is what the fear is about. We develop different strategies. And one strategy may be that in order to feel safe, we take on a mask or a persona where we are used to staying very small, like not show up, not give anybody any surface area where I can be attacked or criticized. So I stay in the box, or I may even go into hiding or make myself invisible. Yeah, that's out of the attempt to stay safe. Or another defense from feeling unsafe may be to become very strong and very assertive and very highly functioning, and to make sure that I will be in control. It doesn't matter which situation, in community, in relationships, at work, I'm in charge and I know exactly where this is going to go. Yeah. That's a different defense. Or we may use, so we use our gifts and strengths, like strength or clarity or sensitivity. We may also use our caring or our sexuality. We may attune to what other people may need to get a semblance of what we feel we want and need. And when we resort into these defense strategies, and many of us use different at different times, but we often have a main one, we sacrifice something. Yeah, if I have to keep myself small so that I won't be attacked or criticized, I sacrifice my aliveness and my joy in life and my passion and my presence, really. I shrink away from life and from myself. When I have to stay in control, then I won't be able to say to my partner, hey, can I put my head in your lap for a little bit? I need something right now. I have to be in control. I can't allow life or love to come to me. Or if I go into attuning to the other person's needs, and I always look, what do they need and how can I get that to them so that they like me and need me? Same thing. I cannot just stand there and say, hey, I need something right now, or I cannot allow things to come to me in a gentle way. And I cannot trust that they come if I'm not working for it. Yeah. So these are just three examples. Do you want to add something here, Jen or Sambhavo?
Well, it's
Yeah,
coming to
sure.
me. Yeah, sorry, Jennifer, go on.
No, please
Go on.
go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Sambhavo.
it's coming to me. The people are sometimes so successful, so busy, they cannot even feel the
Mhm.
shame or the fear. They are really one after another things and bam, 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 and and they get a lot of attention and a lot of light from people. And sometimes they go all the life like this, or sometimes they come into a point in life they feel like, yeah, I reach everything. Everybody's praised me. Everybody love me. Everybody put me there, but there is something that I miss deeply inside, and that is the kind of door that can open to some work, and of course for others it can be even not even possible to feel that. They never really feel the fear or the shame, maybe the fear but not the shame, because it's covered by so many and by so many layers of mask. And also one way where we don't feel the shame and the fear is to stop the feelings. So we keep
Mhm.
ourselves busy or we numb ourselves. So one way as a strategy is to numb ourselves. It can be even extremely with drugs, but any kind of numbing, even scrolling obsessively with the phone in Instagram, it is a way to numb ourselves. Yeah, Jennifer.
Mhm. Yeah, I think what I appreciate so much about what both you and Gita are pointing to is that so much of what we think of who we are, this is just my personality. I'm somebody who likes to work a lot, or I'm somebody who does this, or I'm somebody who does it all by myself. I'm somebody who doesn't want to rely on other people. I'm somebody who would rather take care of others and have others take care of me. So many things that we think are just the way we are, we call it our personality, but it's actually a lot of it is protection, and it's hiding. It's sitting on top of something much more vulnerable, much more real, much more spacious and essential inside of us. And that's the importance of doing this work. And we can start to loosen up these personality patterns, these defenses, as Gita called them, because we don't defend against life. We defend against being hurt. So these patterns of protection, they were essential at one time. And then the path of transformation, the path of healing is to get inside these patterns and loosen them up so something much more free can come through and live in us. That's what I like to add. Gita, go right ahead.
Yeah, great.
There's a reason, but we can, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I totally am on board with that. And it's very important to understand that we don't come up with these things that hurt us. Yeah, we feel hurt by our own strategies because we ultimately do not get what we need, even if we notice it, like in Sambhavo's example, later in life, or when there is suddenly a crisis and the partner leaves, or the job is finished, or the stock market goes down, or whatever. Suddenly we feel the unworthiness or the shame or whatever. It is there. Yeah. And we do distract from it. But when we distract from that, from those feelings that are challenging, then we also distract from our sensitivity and commitment to ourselves. I get to be here. Yeah, I get to be me, and I get to be alive. And that is something that we weren't taught. And so what matters in the healing journey of this is to understand that we develop these strategies in order to survive and to stay safe and to be kind and compassionate when we see, oh, I'm doing that thing again. Yeah, I'm controlling again, or I'm pushing myself, or I'm numbing myself. And then to know or to be curious about, like Jen just said, I think Sambhavo also alluded to this, that there's something underneath there that is incredibly vital and very juicy, like our passion, our love, our anger, which, you know, when we feel our anger, we get the information when to say no, when something isn't right, and we need that information. But our shame will not allow us to even feel that. Or when we feel grief, we're missing something. That's also important information. We don't have access to that. So when shame shows up, to be curious, what is the shame trying to protect me from so that I belong, so that I stay worthy? Yeah. And to do that takes a lot of courage. Yeah. And the courage is really the courage to take heart, to be both strong to face what I'm feeling, and also to allow myself to be vulnerable and sensitive to really feel what I'm feeling. And the energy that gets us to do that, even though these habits and defenses are powerful and are habits, that's our longing for something much bigger than these neat little boxes. And Sambhavo, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Yeah, and you say before, I think, or I don't remember, but you say it's shame and fear. You can really become aware in relationship. You know, there is something there that doesn't allow you to go really fully deep, and it can also become into awareness moment where we touch something, you know, and that's what in the path of love we work with is the longing. You know, we touch something deeper than anything else. We touch something deeper than the mask. We touch something deeper than the success. We touch something deeper inside ourselves and with the existence. Sometimes it can happen with ourselves where we feel incredibly connected with something that we cannot put a name on it, or we feel extremely in depth with somebody in a moment of making love, or a moment of an embrace, or a moment to see a child just born and something in us waking up. And that's what we call the longing. You know, there is a, and I like one definition from a Buddhist monk. He called the longing a mix of joy and pain at the same together, sweetness and pain. The sweetness and the joy is the fact that we touch something that is deeper than us, that is going beyond our personality. And the pain is that we don't have it. You know, it's a momentary touching. So we touch it and then we lose it. But we have the memory, we have the feeling, oh my God, that moment something was deeper than any moment I experienced in my life. It can happen in everything. It can happen even doing sport, or even just out of, it happened to me in different moment, out of a 1 hour and a half running and just having a cappuccino, boom, something in me exploded and I connected. It was bizarre and it was very young, but it can happen in many different moments. And then you feel like, my God, my life is different. I feel different. I taste different. I see different colors, this different light. I touch different. And then we lose it. And so the pain, and then we go back into our personality structure, into our defense. And then we have this kind of memory and say, my God, I want to go back to that space, you know, and that's why probably all of us, we are in this field of meditation, of self-transformation, yeah? Because we touch this. And here are the things you mentioned, Gita, you know, some people can function very well all their life, and then a crisis happen. And this crisis, maybe the partner break up, or maybe you have an accident, and suddenly you need to, and this accident, this pain of the separation from the partner, or the separation from your functioning in your body, it bring you in, all the energy going to yourself. And there, something else open. There you might realize that you all function very well in your life, but you never have a possibility to feel. So that's what happened to many people. They say, but what is the longing? I never felt that. And usually we realize, especially in the path of love, these people lack feelings, or let's say they have a strong conditioning around not to feel, not to sense, because maybe it was danger to feel. Even a classical of us as boys: don't cry, don't be vulnerable, you need to be strong. Some culture has very, very strong conditioning around that. So, and that's how the longing get cut. So, and I like to say the longing is a small candle, but when it's embraced with awareness, it turns into a fire. And why is important, this longing? Because when it becomes a fire, it can burn. It can burn our past, it can burn our wounds, it can bring something else, where usually therapy is very much fixing, solving the issue, solving the problem. We have a shame, is the issue, is a problem, let's solve it. We have a fear, is the issue. In the path of love, we do something different. We bring this longing into fire. We bring this longing into fire by creating a space of awareness. So this longing turn into passion. So this little candle of the longing become a big fire. How we do that? I reveal a secret. We have here more than 100 people never done the path of love, but do not say to anybody. So the secret is like this. How we bring the longing fire is through honesty. Become honest where you are. And when we start to be honest where we are, we're honest in the moment. In this moment, I feel excited. This moment, I feel fear. In this moment, I remember something happened to me. When we start to bring this honesty, something very magical happened to us. We become vulnerable. And in that vulnerability, a lot of energy is coming. And that's the fuel for this little candle. That's the fuel that transforms the longing into fire, into passion. And honesty, of course, what we require in honesty, we require courage. And it's not something that I have, you don't have, somebody has, and it's all of us, we have. Actually, I like to bring some understanding. Courage has come from Latin cor, that means heart. Basically means to speak the truth of your heart. Here we are back into honesty. So honesty, you need courage to be honest, and honesty fuel the courage. More you're honest, more courage you have. And that's a more courage you have, more honesty you have, and more honest you have, more vulnerability you have, more feeling you have, more sensitivity you have, more passion you have, more fire you have for bringing tremendous transformation. And this is one key for. And then you ladies, Jennifer and Gita, I would love you to add something, but I want to just say something more. The other things that brings our longing into fire, into passion, is becoming aware that our time in this life, in this earth, is limited. We are not live here eternally. Every day pass is every day close to that. Not in the sense of darkness thought, but in the sense of slap in our face, a wake up call. Hey guys, what do you fucking need to postpone? What you need to postpone more, and bring a tremendous life and tremendous energy to check, am I living the life that I want? Am I compromised? Whether do I compromise? Whether I'm not fulfilled? The sense of mortality. We all die. This is a fact, 100% for sure. We are going to die. They bring tremendous waking up. Tremendous call. They bring our longing into fire by percent. Jennifer, Gita, what you want to say? What you need to say? Please add something.
Go, Gita.
I just want to say that I was sitting this morning in meditation with a friend who is dying in these next few weeks, and she's in her 50s. She's way too young to die. And, it's not only that turns up the fire, as like Sambhavo just beautifully said, as far as what really matters, and that we don't take the moments that we have for granted and just, space out on them or whatever it is we do. But also for me, it's this experience that we are so much more mysterious than we know. Like we make ourselves so much smaller. We think we're so much smaller than we really are. And when somebody, is in that transition, you can really tell. You can tell that, what we really are, that soul level that we really are, that essence that each of us represents. That's the gold, and that's what we go for with this work. And that's where it's a blessing to be reminded of that in life whenever that happens.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm very touched listening to this, and as we feel into the immensity of that power of waking up, of saying, okay, it's not that I don't want to live anymore. Like, okay, next year, 10 years, 5 years later on, some other time, I will really face what's here inside of me. I will discover it and move through all these layers that have kept me stuck in feelings of being not good enough, of having to keep people at a distance, for why I feel so lonely, even though I'm not alone, why I can't just relax and feel really present and alive in my life. That is actually now. It's now. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to take a time to go into inquiry so we can explore how this is for us right now, because under shame, under fear is usually a very young, very tender longing. And we need to give space for that to be met, and met in a field with other people who also want to meet their young, tender longing inside, in that safely held space of connection and being witnessed. So I'm going to explain briefly what inquiry is, and then you're going to have the opportunity to go into groups of 3 and directly experience this for yourself. So inquiry is particularly powerful when we're looking at fear and shame, because fear and shame tell us to hide. Fear and shame say, okay, don't be seen in this, be alone, isolate. Nobody wants to be around me anyways. Let me go hide. And so when we can actually go into a space where we can explore these feelings of fear and shame and be met with curiosity and compassion, and with people who have the same human experiences as us, the power of shame, the power of isolation, the power of fear starts to get shaken up, and something else can start to metabolize and come through. So inquiry is one of the tools that we use with Path of Love. And with inquiry, we don't want it to just come from our minds. We just tell the story the way that our minds know the story of our lives. We want to slow down in the inquiry. We want to take time to feel our body, to notice what's happening as we're sharing, to drop into our feelings. When we slow down enough that we can feel what's happening inside of us, that's when we can start to feel, okay, there's something moving here. I'm recognizing this, or I'm feeling this. And then we can start to feel how parts of our body starts to open up, or our feelings start to open up. Inquiry is about letting what's actually been hidden inside of us to show up. And it's about discovering that underneath these layers of protection that we've been talking about, there's a lot of life inside of us. And that's what we want to explore today. So there's going to be 2 inquiry questions, and Premaraj is going to go ahead and put them in the chat. I don't have my chat open, so maybe he already has. You're going to go into the breakout rooms, and you're going to take a few minutes to get to know each other first, because you'll be from different places. And it'll also take us a minute or 2 to get everyone into the room. So please be patient and just take your time and settle in. And then once you have everyone in your room, you'll either be 2, 3, or 4 people in your room. We're going to do what you'll time yourself, and everyone will answer their first question, and you'll have 5 minutes each. And if you're in a room with more than 3 people, please adjust the time, because it'll be a little bit shorter than that. So the first question you're going to explore for 5 minutes is, what is a familiar pattern around fear or shame that limits you or keeps you stuck? So what is a familiar pattern? What do you already know about yourself? But feel your body and feel your feelings as you're sharing about this pattern. Is it that I don't speak up at work, or I hide this, or I isolate? I go and I just spend my weekends binging on Netflix. Whatever it might be. What are the patterns that you can already feel or know around fear or shame that limit you or keep you stuck? What is it that you don't express? Where do you hold back? Where do you numb out? Yeah, and as you're sharing this, more might keep coming to you. So you can name as many as you can think or come into contact with, and keep feeling your feelings and feeling your body. Then, after everyone has shared on that question, you'll start a second round where, again, for 5 minutes, you'll share, if you listened to your deepest longing, what would it be asking? So that asks you to turn to the longing, turn to your heart. What's actually underneath those patterns of protection? We talked about how those defenses are protecting something that's very tender inside. So what is it that's actually being protected? What is your deepest longing? What is that fire inside of you? What is it asking for? And again, as you share on that one, slow down, feel your body, feel your feelings, let yourself be touched. Let yourself really listen to what's here inside. Yeah. So you'll have 35 minutes in total in the breakout room. And so again, once you get in there and once everyone's there, figure out the timing for yourself. And then after we do our inquiry, we're going to come back together and there'll be time to share and ask questions as a community. So
Yeah,
Premraj,
wanna
when
add
you're
something. Wanna add something. You're going to meet with a person from all over the world. The most important ingredient here, and of course also in the path of love, one of the pillar is the confidentiality.
mm,
So you need to be really hold the space. So one is a sharing. You don't interfere. You don't talk. You just listen for 5 minutes. The time is framed, and absolutely confidentiality. Whatever is going to be shared is going to be between the three of you for the rest of your life. You need to make this commitment. Maybe bring a hands on your heart, just as a symbol for yourself. Maybe nobody see you, but just bring it. This is a confidentiality I'm holding for myself and for the others for the next 30 minutes.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for adding that. So please, for a moment, take a breath. Feel your seat in the chair that you're sitting in, and start to feel what's been touched in you in this inquiry. Yeah, what's started to come alive? What are you recognizing about yourself? And Premraj, let's see here. Yes, the questions are in the chat. And no, you're not wrong at all for wanting to leave. And in fact, if you want to leave and then come back on for the sharing at the end, please come back after 35 minutes. So you have 5 minutes each on each round of question.
We invite you to take the entire 5 minutes, and maybe just sit there for a moment while you have nothing to say. That's completely fine, and just see what emerges out of just sitting with yourself. And maybe you feel awkward for a moment, and then you share that, and then something will come out of that. So of course, we're not checking on you. You do what's right for you always, but that's our invitation to take the 5 minutes.
Yeah. So what is a familiar pattern around fear or shame that limits you or keeps you stuck? And if you listen to your deepest longing, what would it be asking for? Those are important questions. Those are important questions that both nourish our hearts, help us become more aware, can help light a fire, can points us to what it is that what do we really need? That's the other thing. We didn't really talk that much about needs, but fear and shame are two of the most powerful forces that shut down the connection to what it is that we really need. And so inquiry is one of the ways that we can open back up to our needs, that we can open back up, because shame tells us, no, 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 your needs are not important. Your needs don't matter. Other people's needs are more important than yours. I imagine there's more than one person here who's had that feeling in their life. And fear makes us afraid to ask for what we need, makes us feel that if we ask for what we need, we're going to be rejected or somehow we'll be disappointed, that it's too much to even ask. So fear and shame are really powerful for blocking the connection to our needs and making us feel like we're not important, but not valued. Okay. So Premraj, we can always move things around once the breakout
I think
rooms
we're as
open. Are
good
we
as we're
ready?
gonna get. So here we go.
Welcome back, everyone. Hello. I love seeing all of a sudden as everyone comes back and the room starts to fill up, the energy. Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Softer and smiling.
Yeah, great, great. You give us this a space for being real. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
such a unique moment where we can really open our heart and be real. Mm.
Mhm. Okay, just a few more seconds and the final rooms will close up. And as we're coming back here, if you would like to write anything in the chat about how that was for you, yeah, you're welcome to put any sharings, how you feel now, what that was like to share with fellow seekers here in your breakout rooms. Special, lovely. It was effing amazing. Wow, coming in fast. Loved it. So connected, feeling lighter, amazing beyond words. Incredible how easy it is to open up to strangers. Wow, look at that. Sweet. Oh, it's coming in too fast now. Beautiful. I was scared before, and now I feel so connected and a lot of love, reminded of how we are so connected. Oh, fabulous. This is beautiful. Feeling less alone. So helpful to remember my longing and to share it. Yes, isn't it? We don't live in a world that often invites us to remember our longing and definitely not to share it. So thank you. A warm feeling of love. Honest, deep sharing is so inspiring and connecting. Beautiful. Great. Well, thank you. And keep feeling free to put that in the chat. And if anybody has any questions, you can also raise your electronic hand. We're going to invite, so if you want to come on and ask any questions. And also to give you an overview, we're going to run a little bit late, as you might have guessed, because we want to definitely take time for questions or if anybody wants to share anything as well and unmute. And so if you need to leave on time and early, we totally understand. Thank you for being here. You're going to get a very important email from Path Retreats in the coming days. It'll contain some resources in it, including the link to the recording. And unfortunately, sometimes those emails go into your spam folder. So if you don't see it, definitely be sure to check your spam for that. So would anybody like to unmute? Is there any questions? Would you like to share anything? Go ahead and raise your electronic hand and we'll call on you. Loved listening to others expressing themselves so freely that made me feel free. Ah, beautiful. Yes. When we share and connect, the freedom that gets created. Mhm. Yeah, but anybody have any questions or anything anybody would like to unmute and share about? It felt so good to share and see that we are all so similar with all our problems and fears. Yeah. The humanity, the common humanity. Mhm. Lots of sharings here in the chat. Inspiring. I can imagine now a little bit how it would be on a path of love in June, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, Path of Love, of course, it happens in many different countries throughout the world. Uh, and lots of opportunities to come together. Inquiry is one part of what we do. It's not all of the work. The work that we do in Path of Love is, there's a lot more to it than inquiry. Yes, Sambhavo, go ahead.
Jennifer, there is a question about Mukta. Say, a friend asked me if you are going to lead a path of love in the next future. Yes, we are going to lead a path of love in March. in Italy from the 5th to the 12th of March, and then Jennifer, you have a one and Gita, you have a one in Colorado, right? When?
Yeah, yes. Sambhavo and I will be leading together in March in Italy, and then Gita and I are leading together May 30th to June 6th, I believe, in Colorado.
Yes.
And then Sambhavo and I will be back together in Montreal, June 18th to the 25th. So we'd love to have you come join us yes, that would be great.
So question is in May in Italy. So yeah, I think it's both. There is one in Italy in May and one in Colorado. Mushkam asked. Yes.
Yeah, I was just making sure that also the May in Miasta was being mentioned.
Yes, mentioned. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
I love this. Somebody just wrote in the chat, it proved that healing works in sharing and relationship.
Yes.
As we talked about fear and shame, those wounds happened in relationship, and it is through relationship that they are best healed. And that's why processes like the path of love go beyond therapy. It's not just trauma healing work, it's something much deeper because it brings us back into reconnection with ourselves, with other people, with the world. And that can't happen that doesn't happen sitting alone in a therapy room. We're all individual therapists as well. So we do lots of one-on-one therapy, but there is something much bigger than that, much more expansive than that happens in Path of Love.
Question, can you talk a bit more about the different tools beside inquiring Path of Love is about? I just want to add something. It's like imagine a container who rises the volume of awareness day by day, I would say minute by minute, and this rise in awareness, that's the main happening, because when you become aware of your feeling, become aware of yourself, then of course a lot of things unfold from yourself. Beside the inquiring, Jennifer mentioned also, Gita, is the sharing. Open up. They open up to be honest with wherever we are, and of course in that we touch element of what we want, but also element of what we can call our dark side, things we don't want other to see, or things we want to avoid, or we hide, or things we feel shame about it. So that's of course in a very safe container, and of course after progression where we can arrive to a point where we are able to address this, and that's liberate tremendous energy. And of course, active meditation is also one very important ingredient. But Jennifer, Gita, please, you want to add something?
Yeah, for me, what sets Path of Love apart is that it's not just psychological work. We do work with our psychology, work with our beliefs, our feelings, but it's not just emotional work, even though we work with our feelings. It's also not just embodiment work, but we work so much through the body that you come out of the process really in your body. For many people, it's the first time that they feel like they're living in their body in their entire lives, that you feel and you explore and you express. And then there's also the spiritual dimension of the work that we bring in, where we get connected to something much bigger and greater than ourselves, that we feel then as a support in our lives, and that we feel that we are inherently part of everything that's here, and that we fully belong, that we fully are meant to be here, and that we have this gift of life, this passion and this connection to our longing, which serves us.
I want to say one sentence about that dimension that you're pointing to, Prema. And I always experience that as when we clear everything out with compassionate awareness and naming and claiming and owning, but also with expressing and giving it room in a relational safe field, then there is something open here where we're actually a spiritual connection just happens spontaneously, and we can receive something from a different dimension. So it's not just psychological, like Jen just said.
Yeah, you say in a very beautiful way what happened. It's basically when somebody open his heart it inspire, it infuse your longing, to bring you more into your heart and bring you more longing. So one way is, yes, connecting to the fact that we have a limited life. And one way is to see where I'm shrinking. So one way is to connect with the divine, but also the other way is when you hear somebody speaking from their truth is their core, is their heart, is their spirit, infuse us. It brings us in connection tremendously with ourselves, just to hear somebody speaking the truth or speaking the pain that is part of the truth. Wow, it inspires us. And so it's another way, and thank you for asking, to bring our longing fires to be in a space when people have the courage to speak their truth, whatever is their truth, good and bad, whatever is their truth, boom, is such an inspiration. So you just thank you for saying and bring this into awareness field.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. Anybody else would like to share? Anybody have a question? Like to raise your electronic hand? Mm. So many beautiful comments in the chat. No, thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you. I'm really touched by what you just shared. Yeah, I'm really touched by that. And it's a good reminder for all of us to give attention to ourselves, to listen, even if it's a small voice inside that's nudging us towards something. There's so much wisdom inside of us. And I know everyone who's here today, something brought you here. You could be doing anything with your Sunday, and you listened to what brought you here. So I want to acknowledge everybody for that and to thank you for being here and creating all of this together. We really did create this together. And that matters. Yeah. So maybe we should start to, because we are over time, maybe it's time to start bringing this to a close. Yeah. I know, Sambhavo, you were going to lead us in a closing meditation. Gita, is there anything that you'd like to say before we close? No, it feels really complete, doesn't it? There's like a yumminess here. I don't know. I'm hoping that also others are feeling that too, that the sense of yumminess and connection is a richness that we've created. So, Sambhava, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and maybe guide us.
Yes,
On our
I've
next
just, my
steps.
daughter break through the room. She wanted to be part of it. She's 2 years and 3 months, and she was just mesmerized to see all this face shining. Yes, so it's been a journey for all of us. Also for me, I want to say, when we are true and we speak from the heart, is something is expanding, something is moving, and I'm glad all of you had this kind of experience in the break rooms, and it means you really dare to be courageous, dare to speak your truth, dare to speak your heart. And I want to take from here and a moment to let all this experience just taking inside and make it land into your body. And this is a short, we can call meditation. You can close your eyes, or you can make it small, or you can keep open. Doesn't matter, just maybe present. The most important thing is that you start to be present to your body, with the sense that there is nothing to fix, nothing to change, you know. Just we need to become present where we are, how we are, what we feel, what we sense. Maybe start to be present right now, with your body, in touch with your chair or with your feet on the ground. Let the floor hold in you, let the gravity hold in you. I remember a teacher say, the gravity is the love of Mother Earth. It's like a mother hold a baby close to her breast, close to their heart. It's like the earth hold us to the gravity. Otherwise, we fly away. So feel the sense of gravity that pull you down. Pull you really down. You feel it. Your body become very, very, very sensitive and very heavy on the bottom. And and just have this reminder, remembering that tonight we touch all these the fears and the shame and the layers of protection. So you might notice some maybe tightness might be there, just speaking about the fear, just speaking about the shame. We wake up also about the defense. So it might be also in this be present to your body. It might be also a sense of, okay, some energy is moving here. Maybe some energy is moving into my jaw, into my chest, into my shoulder, you know. Um, and you can simply name it. You can say protection or vulnerability, whatever you sense into your body. Just give a space. That's what you feel. Um, and and uh, and then you went inside searching for the true with the breakup rooms, and you share, and then you come out with some from your heart, and maybe right now that you connect with yourself, maybe there is an image, a picture that is coming as you connect, maybe a feeling. uh, and even if you feel nothing, this is also the important information. Yeah, just that this you stay kind with yourself and close with yourself. You know, yeah, we all have this need to be something, be strong, be powerful, be perfect. And it's a beautiful that we can have a space on the Sunday evening just to be ourselves, just to remind what is the beauty to be ourselves with all that we carry, our imperfection and perfection, our fear and shame and our longing. And there is nothing that we need to change. It's just this simple heart that embrace everything. It does tremendous transformation. Yeah. So we would like on the name for me, for Jennifer, for Gita, for Premraj, for Suantra, for all the friends that were here supporting the space, for the path of love, and we just want to first of all thank you, all of you, for being here in this journey. And thank you for all of you who are being in the path of love, who will come back, listen us, and to all of you that just you are new to this kind of field and energy, and maybe we inspire you to come and taste more of this space, of this heart, of this awareness. So you are all welcome, and of course who have been there in the path of love knows that they can come back 1,000 times in a different form that is different from participation. And you can come and sense and go deeper to this kind of work. So big thank you to all of you. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Very grateful for our time together. Thank you, Gita, Sambhavo, Premraj.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful Sunday day or evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for being with us.